Shoulders are getting too big. I can't even fit in the camera. What's up? This is Gregatron. So a lot of people might not like this video, but this video is about why most relationships don't work. Most. And I grew up hearing that most marriages don't work because of one of two things, right? Money or sex. Those are the main two reasons, right? And I still kind of believe that to an extent, but I think there's problems that lead to that. You know what I'm saying? And the main two things is men are weak and women want it all. Those are the main two things. So before you even get to the money thing or the sex thing, those are the two main reasons in my opinion. So let's start with the men being weak. So men today, they cater to women so bad that the woman just expects everything is handed to her. And that kind of goes to my second point, women wanting it all. But if the men weren't so weak, the women wouldn't act like that. Like, men today, they give women money, like a lot of money, and they're just dating them. And I used to be guilty of this type of stuff, so I'm speaking from experience. But men today, they're just not strong like they used to be. Like, they don't put their foot down. They don't tell the woman how the cow ate the cabbage. They don't lead. They're not the head. They just think everything should be, like here's an example, right? So I'll call my homie up like, hey, can you come to my birthday party or something like that? Or, hey, I'm having a get together. Hey, I'm throwing a party. But my homie, he'll say, it's like, this is what all men say. The first thing a man will say when he's invited to an event, he'll say, oh, let me see what the wife wants to do. Let me check with the wife first. I'm like, but if you're the husband, why can't you just make the decision as to what's about to happen? Like, you're not being a dictator. You're not dominating. All you're doing is saying, hey, I'm going to go to Greg's party. Greg's throwing a party tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not doing anything wrong. You're not going around sleeping with a bunch of women. You're not gambling. You're not going to the strip club. You're not doing any of that. But a lot of men are guilty of this. Oh, I need to check with a female. I need to check with my fiance. I need to check with my girlfriend first, see what she wants to do. Like, man, you're a grown man. Like, are you really going to be in the doghouse if you don't check with her first? Like I said, you're not out committing crime. You're not shooting mother lovers. You're not slinging drugs. You're not doing any illegal activity. You're just kicking it. You're just chilling. Like, what's wrong with that? Because we all know if it was the other way around, if she says, hey, Susie's throwing a party, you wouldn't care. You'd be like, okay, see ya. Talk to you later. Let me know how it went. But men today are just, like, pathetic. Pathetic. Let me check with a wife. And then a lot of times they'll cancel on you. Oh, man, my girlfriend has something going on. Sorry. But if she has something going on, what's that got to do with you? Yeah, you'll be in the doghouse, definitely. But that's the thing, like, why do we even have a doghouse for stuff that small? Like, I can see if you, like, really messed something up. Like, you really did something you shouldn't have done. That's the doghouse. But, like, small stuff. Oh, let me check with the fiance. Let me check with my girl. But I was about to say something else, but I forgot. But, oh yeah, I was just saying, men just aren't in charge of their relationships anymore. And like I said, you're not being like a dictator, nothing like that. You're just saying what it is. And if your woman loves you, She has to respect that. But a lot of relationships don't survive because the woman thinks she's in charge of everything, or at least 95%. Like, no. Especially if you're married, you're supposed to follow your husband. And I always hear this argument, but what if he tells me to jump off of a bridge? You think I'm going to jump off of a bridge? But it's like, no man is going to tell you to do that. Why would you be with a man who's saying, hey, won't you jump off that bridge? We're saying, like, let's say in a perfect world, right? You're a good woman, he's a good man. I mean, no such thing as good people. Only God is good, right? But for the sake of the English language, let's just say y'all are both good people. Why would you not follow him if he's providing, he's protecting you, keeping everybody safe, bringing food on the table? If he's doing everything he's supposed to do, why wouldn't you want to, quote unquote, serve him? Like, what's wrong with that? Like, don't people get in these marriages for a reason? You know what I'm saying? But it's like women today, they want to have it only one way. Like, on one hand, they want a man to protect and provide and all that good stuff. But on the other hand, the woman now, she wants to be the head of the marriage or the relationship. But wait a minute, Dr. Mike. You can't have it both ways. You can't say, oh, I want him to do all this stuff, but then, on the other hand, she wants to be the captain of the ship. That's not going to work. But, I mean, yes, relationships should be 50-50. But today it's like women, they want everything given to them. Like, everything. But it doesn't work that way, ladies. Like, you can't expect a man to work 8+ hours a day and then come home to a dirty house. You know what I'm saying? Like, to us, that's just common sense. I was talking to my barber about this the other day. You know, him and the other guys, they're talking about how their woman, the house be nasty or dirty. But I'm like, you knew she was like this before you got with her, and you're still with her. Why is that? It's like, it doesn't stop y'all from having kids with them. So y'all see these red flags and y'all still get into these relationships. That's why I don't mind being single, because I look for these red flags. But these women, it's like they expect you to cater to them, their every need. And if you don't cater to them, they'll resent you for it. That's if you don't cater to them. But if you do cater to them, they'll still resent you for that. So it's a real slippery slope. But I blame a lot of the men too, because the men don't put their foot down in the beginning and say, hey, I don't like this. Hey, I'm not putting up with this. Hey, I only put up with this and this and that. That's it. But these men, they dig these holes. They just get so deep and deep and deep and deep and deep. And then by the time she does something that he really doesn't like, she's so used to doing it. So when he says, hey, I don't like that, she's like, what do you mean you don't like it? I've been doing X, Y, and Z this whole time. I've been walking all up and down your butt. Like, I was talking to a lady not too long ago. It's not like it was ancient history or nothing. But, so like, here's an example. She'll like do like a love tap. Like, oh, you're so funny. And I'm like, why is she hitting me? Well, then she did it again. Oh, stop. You know, oh, stop. So this happened probably 2 or 3 times. I told her that third time or so, I said, hey, stop hitting me. I don't like that. And she's like, why? What? I said, 'cause I can't hit you. I said, I'm too strong. If I hit you, I'm going to jail. She's like, oh no, I'm not hitting you like that. I'm just saying. I'm like, nah, I'm not even going to open that door. Because if I let this continue, she's just going to keep on getting away with it. Then the minute she hits me hard, let's say we get into an argument, right? She hits me real hard. In her mind, she's already used to doing it. So it's nothing new. My point is, I had to squash that in the beginning. Because if I hadn't, she would have still been doing it. She would have kept on doing it. I don't even know where this video's going, but I do know is men and women, they don't set boundaries for one another. Like, they just let the other person do whatever. And then fast forward, that's when you get into the divorce with either the sex or the money. It's because the boundaries were never established in the beginning. That and the men are just weak. I mean, just pathetic. Like, and women want strong men. Women want a man who will take care of business. Real women. I'm not talking about some little hoe. Real women want real men. But I see so many men today who like get a ride to work from some woman, whether it's his sister or his mom or his female cousin or his girlfriend or whoever. But I'm just thinking, you should be ashamed of that. Like, I know a guy, he gets a ride from like sometimes a female coworker or something. But I'm just like, you should be ashamed of that. Like, women, they're gonna look down on that. Like, it's so weird. Like, on one hand, they're gonna say, oh, I got your back, I'm gonna help you. But she's just using that as an ego boost, like, oh, he can't do X, Y, and Z without me. But on the other hand, she'll resent him for being weak. Like, you shouldn't be asking a woman for a ride. You shouldn't be, oh, the worst one is when a man asks a woman for money. Like, I'd rather saw my foot off than do that. Like, it's like relationship dynamics today is just a mess. It's just trifling. But I could talk about this for a whole nother half an hour. Relationships today are just a mess. People don't want to take responsibility. It's like when you do something wrong, you want to blame the other person. I only did this because she made me do it. How does she make you do something? You know, I see people putting their hands on one another. Cut that out. Stop it. I see people who are in relationships just for being in a relationship. Then when the going gets tough, they want to separate. Well, now she's already pregnant. But if you've seen all these red flags ahead of time, why are you not only sleeping with her, but you're exploding deep inside with no condom? Well, now you can't leave because you're stuck with her for 18 years. I mean, yeah, you can leave, but you're not really leaving. It's just a mess. Like, we need to get these relationships back on track because this is not good. I mean, I can make separate videos about this. Like, a woman will ask a man, how many women have you slept with? Don't tell her that because she'll just dwell on that. It could be 5, it could be 10, it could be 15. It doesn't matter what you tell her. She'll dwell on that. And she'll just use that against you in the future. And stop telling women your problems because she'll just use that against you. Like, men shouldn't even be doing that. And women need to be honest too. When they need to be honest. Like, don't tell the opposite sex 100% unless you're married to that person. And even then, you don't need to tell her everything. Like, if you're having a bad day at work, you don't need to tell your wife everything that happened at work. Because she needs you to be strong. She needs you to hold down the fort. Especially the kids. They can't see daddy all pathetic. Come on now. It's just pitiful. So I know a lot of people who are single, and there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. I know people who are dating just because they don't want to be single. That doesn't make any sense. That's ridiculous. We need to work on ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Work on you first. Put God before everything else. And then somebody will be brought to you. But that's only when you're ready. I ain't forcing nothing. I'm 30 years old with no kids, and what's wrong with that? But yeah, this video's getting long. I figured I'd just give y'all my thoughts on that. Alright, peace.